Hello, beautiful and beloved ones. This is Lorelei from the Tightrope to 5D Music Reactions. And if you wonder about that strange title, stick around to the end because I'm going to give you a special message about this historic shift from third dimensional consciousness to fifth dimensional consciousness happening now. So stick around. Meanwhile, we're starting with a reaction to Marcelito Pomoy, The Power of Love. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Let me know. Here we go.
In the morning
Wish 1075.
of lovers leaving town, rolling by like tender now, as I look in your eyes.
Now, just I remember from the last time I saw this fella, he's extraordinary, isn't he? But he can go from the lower ranges to the higher ranges like a female voice with such fluidity. Let's see what he does here.
Hold on to your body and feel its move you make. Your voice is warm and tender, a love that I could not forsake, 'cause I'm your lady and you are my man. Whenever you reach for me, I'll do all that I can. Lost is how I am feeling, lying in your arms, when the world outside too much to take. That all ends when I'm with you, even though there may be time.
I mean, his voice is so soft and so, I don't know, soothing, right? You almost get a thought of him being, a female. So, but we all have all the energies, by the way, in a fifth dimensional sense. We have all the energies of the males and the females, right? So to be able to sort of play in all of those arenas is wonderful, especially musically. By the way, like, subscribe, and comment. By the way, have you ever heard this sung by a man before? I'd like to know that. Here we go.
It seems I'm far away, never wonder where I am, 'cause I'm always by your side, 'cause I'm your lady and you are my man.
has such facility, such ability in the higher range of his voice. And then I've heard him in the lower range, which is so strong, so powerful. Oh my goodness, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
And you are my man. Whenever you reach for me, I'll do all that I can. We're hiding for something.
I got to hear that part again. Let's go back. You know how he does that when he reaches up there and just belts it out? So wonderful. Let's go back a little more. We gotta hear that again. Oh my goodness. Oh, that ending.
Wish exclusive on Wish.
The power of love.
1075.
Wow, what a voice he has. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, what a great job he did. Thank you, Marcelito, for bringing us that. So extraordinary. And you know, this is why I like this whole thing about the trans and this and all that going on. It's like, for the fifth dimensional purposes, it's just utter nonsense because we all have all the different energies. Now, obviously, sexualizing children or taking off children's body parts before they're old enough to make a choice is not okay. But the whole concept of, like, you know, the whole thing that we're working toward is to in the fifth dimension, to balance our male and female energies and come to that balance, you know, so that, you know, we're still, of course, whatever particular gender we are, but we're at a balance with those energies. So it's kind of a moot point in a way, you know. And so a person walks around and says, well, I have all this female energy when they're a male, but so don't we as females have all this male energy? So what's the big whoop? You know, you don't have to start shifting and changing body parts, you know. Well, that's a whole sidetrack. But anyway, he does a fabulous job with this. So it's just like blending the difference, balancing the different energies with his voice. And if I were to put this on the scale of like 1 being very third dimensional, fear, pain, sadness, anger, and 10 being very fifth dimensional, love, peace, joy, bliss, love, like this is very high because it's about love, and it's in the joy of love and the wonder of love, right? Now it's talking probably about a one-on-one love, you know, which is great. There's nothing wrong with it, but you want to make sure you get like your love from the divine so that you're not just relying, because, one-on-one love can tend to go awry at times, right? Not always be what we wish it would be, or that perfection. So that's, that just brings it a little bit down from fully fifth dimensional, but it's pretty darn high. So I'm going with like a 9.5. Great job, Marcelito. Meanwhile, if you'd like to know a little bit about me, friends, just go to the About Me video about Lorelei. I think it's about me on this channel. And that also leads you to a longer video if you want to know more about my Forged in the Fire journey. And you can also look at About Lorelei in the notes on Patreon, which gives you a list of some things I've created that you might want to participate in. But now for our fifth dimensional message. The message is one day and one moment at a time. What we don't realize, by the way, is that there have been all of these higher dimensional messages coming into our world for probably, oh my goodness, for thousands of years, right? No, if you want to go back to Shakespeare and, back to Socrates and all that, yeah, thousands of years, right? But if you want to look at like what's really been powerfully coming in as messages in our world, that's just really, people are kind of putting things together and figuring things out. These messages have been coming in, I think, since around the early 1900s. And the 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, 1980s saw a big shift in people really starting to understand the power of the mind and the power of the spirit, right? To create things, to manifest. Remember the movie The Secret and everything? So in the rooms of, for instance, AA or Al-Anon or these 12-step programs, this one day at a time has been a very powerful saying where people just learn, I don't have to worry about years down the road or days down the road or weeks down the road, just one day. And I would even go forward and say one moment at a time. So they're looking at maybe recovery or something from some addiction or from some behaviors, for instance, codependency or something. So they're looking at one day, one moment at a time. And that's such a powerful fifth dimensional message, because when we're looking to be in the fifth dimension, right, we're going to the fifth dimension. It's a higher vibration. It's a space of a higher vibration. It's a space of all these loving, wonderful, peaceful, joyful, harmonious energies, right, between people, interactions, and everything else. It's the space of that. And if you look at each moment of each day, generally, there's not a lot of upheaval and trauma and all of this stuff going on in each moment of each day. Now, what happens, though, is something happens, an argument, an upset, a sickness, whatever comes in. And then instead of just letting that moment pass and then moving on and getting back to the love and the joy and the peace and all that, we often allow ourselves to ruminate in that space and think about it over and again and think about what we're going to do. And it colors our whole day. Sometimes it colors 2 or 3 days or a week, some little thing that happened. Even if it was something like maybe a bill that is owed, or, a message comes in that someone we know is sick, and we're ruminating on it. Someone we love deeply all the time, ruminating on all of these things. And that makes, and it's important, like the people we love should be healthy, right? But we can't do anything about it. So it makes the largesse of our day, not because of the incident, which was just a little bit of time, but because of the ruminating and thinking about it all over and over again. And that's why this thing called one day or one moment at a time is so important. Because if you allow the moment that was upsetting to just be gone, slip away, and don't think about it, now you can get back to those 5D energies, the love, the peace, the joy, the bliss. And a lot of times people find it helpful to use various modalities to get back to that. For instance, do a meditation or go out in nature, listen to the water near a waterfall or near a lake or a brook or something, or put on some solfeggio frequencies, wonderful music, put on some beautiful high vibrational music, Mozart or Beethoven or whatever you like, fun music, show tunes, whatever lifts you up, right? And you could do those things, and then you'll find yourself in a better space. Because the trick really is, the more we can stretch out our entire day to be more and more and more in the energy of fifth dimension, right? Once we can stretch it out to be there all the time, then we're there, right? And sometimes we're waiting. Sometimes, well, we're not waiting, but sometimes other people take a little longer to get there. But the more we can stay there in the higher vibrations, the more we're there. We're actually there. And now the world starts to shift around us. And the more of us doing that, obviously the world starts to shift around all these people. And finally, at some point, it's like the tipping point, the world completely shifts because there's so many beings that are staying in that higher dimension and so many in that energy that the actual world shifts. See, that's how it's going to work. So it's the one day and one moment, but not thinking about that, not worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow with the world shifting and all, but in each moment of each day, looking to just be in the highest space you can be in. So, okay, beloved ones, that's my fifth dimensional message for you today. So I'm sending you that fifth dimensional energy, the love, the peace, the bliss, the joy, the abundance, the brotherhood, the harmony, all coming at you now. Namaste. I honor the God in you.